All right. So to start things off, could you give a brief introduction of yourself? Maybe include like why you became PFT and how you got into it.
Okay, my name is Brent Deptuck. Introduction on myself: I own a brand called Fittest Clothing. I personal train out of that. I also work at World Health Club in Edmonton, and I am a trainer consultant for Trav Beach Boy Fitness online. The way I view the fitness industry is I like to cast a wider net to grab more of a target audience, and then from there see who's more interested in training, and weed my clients out that way.
What is the structure of your personal business? Like, is it a sole proprietorship or?
My structure is a corporation,
Okay.
so I incorporated Fittest. That way, the reason I incorporated is just because it's easier when you're getting business insurance as a corporation. It's easier to walk away from a corporation if you have to down the road, I feel. In Alberta, especially if you're doing business taxes, you get a lot more tax benefits of a corporation, I find. Some of the cons of a corporation, if you're wondering, I guess, is just paying yourself. You have to decide on how much you actually want to get paid out of a corporation. It's a little bit harder to write. Like, you can have good write-offs when you're a corporation, but it has a sole proprietorship. A lot of the write-offs are personal, so it's a little bit easier to write things off. And again, accounting, you pay more for an accountant within your corporation than sole proprietorship, because all of your
It's a bunch of
everything's
things.
bunched together when you're a sole proprietorship. But when you're a corporation, everything's spread apart. But again, you can work in more directions as a corporation, and if anything does happen where someone gets injured under your tutelage and they want to sue you, well, they'll sue your corporation, and you can still walk away from it with minimal damage. Obviously, you will be held liable and responsible, but it's not like
Just
be all
you.
end all.
Yeah. After you got certified, did you start working for a company or did you just start up your own business right away?
Well, when I first got certified, my certification is, I started and I got CanFit Pro when I first decided to do personal training, and that was back in 2011. And I was working at World Health back then, and it was the Londonderry location. It's no longer there; it's Fit for Less now. But that's when I first started, and then I stopped personal training because it was I just wasn't educated enough in it, and I was struggling to survive. You'll find that a lot when you're a brand new trainer in the industry. It's a struggle to make it to the top and have clientele coming in on a regular basis, and a lot of it is conducive to your location when you're doing that, when you're first starting out, and that location was a high turnover location, so you don't get a lot of clients that come in on a regular basis, and when they do come in, it's a high dropout rate. Then I decided to take a year off of it, and I went into a sales position, and then I just felt like my passion was health and fitness when I was in the sales job, and then I lost my certification with CanFit because I did sales for so long. So then I came back and I wanted to get recertified as quick as possible, so I did PTA Global for recertification, and I've just continued with my PTA, which is online, which is awesome. I love it.
What is your target market?
My target market, or my target demographic, I guess, is weight loss clients and competitive, competition clients for bodybuilding and physique and bikini and physique for women. I will do some sport performance, but I've kind of gotten away from it. So I used to really like training sport performance, but I've kind of fallen behind of technology because there's so much now out there. So I just like to stick with online training of clients. Again, I can train people worldwide. I have clients all over the world, which is awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome.
And it just allows me with technology to just keep in touch and keep constant communication, but I still feel like there's a big benefit to personal training instead of just online only training.
How did you establish yourself? How long did it take?
How long did it take to establish myself to where I am now is probably around 4 years, I would say. I've made enough connections that I now have like a business partner who our main goal is to push our online focus and training, and then I'm comfortable enough to take on any client that I get and assess their needs and set a plan together.
Did you have to do much advertising, like when you first started, to get into it?
Advertising and marketing you're gonna find are very big avenues for growing any business. Like I started Fittest as a clothing brand to get like the name out there, and it's
That's smart.
and that's the way I did it, so that I could brand a clothing brand that just it wasn't a face, it wasn't me personally, and again that's why I incorporated. So coming back to that question, and it just allows me to sell product along with training. So down the pipeline now, I'm doing fitness accessories. So I'm building belts, I'm building wrist straps. I'm getting into more gym gear to go along with my training programs. So
Cool.
Marketing as well. I teamed up with my business partner, Trav, and he's an Instagram guy, like guru. So he's very popular. I think he has over like 300,000 Instagram followers,
Crazy.
and his Facebook page is over 500,000. So we totally
Get some
use his
publicity.
marketing ploys and strategies to market that side of the online business.
What would you say has been the most effective marketing tool?
The most effective marketing tool right now for us has been Facebook, just because of Trav's grasp. Again, just he's a very popular person, so with that aspect, we've been able to reach a big audience of people driving traffic to his website, and some people have bought training from there. That's with him. With marketing, again, with my business, my personal business with Fittest, Instagram marketing, this has been the biggest for me for that, to grab sales. So I guess it just depends where you're putting all your ducks in a line and trying to market that way. One-on-one marketing always leads to greater conversion rates. Because I mean, if you're talking numbers in general, well, like on Facebook, we've marketed to we've put out videos that have made over 10 million views, and we've only gotten like 4 or 5 people from 10 million. So like if you're funneling that down, I've been able to talk to 4 or 5 people in a row and sell training to them 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
But now we're talking 10 million and only getting 4 people. Like where do the numbers line up? Usually face-to-face marketing is way easier to build rapport, to look people in the eye, to know like what they're talking about, like where their struggles are coming from, rather than someone watching a video with your shirt off and they're like, I want training now.
Yeah.
So marketing is big, but a big thing that goes along with marketing is your price presentation of your product. So you'll find those two things coincide with each other quite heavily. Whereas if you're marketing and you're like, I'm offering X service for like X price, and people don't see the value in that price, well, there's no point in your marketing campaign. It's not going to work.
Yeah.
So you have to really talk to people at the start and find out what a good price for your service is. So your business plan becomes very viable, like when you're talking about marketing campaigns, because it all lines up together, right? And you have to see how that's going to work out for you. So depending on what your niche is and what you decide to do with personal training, that's where you got to line your ducks up. And most of my offering online varies slightly from business to business based on our marketing strategies. So,
how did you guys decide on how much you were going to charge per session?
for online training, we chose again, this goes back to our like funneling marketing plan. We chose a plan that is going to be consistent for people to go into and re-afford monthly. So we wanted to provide a service that consistently they can say, I can actually see myself paying X amount per service. We chose $50 American. We charge American because we're worldwide.
Okay.
So the U.S. currency is very stable compared to the Canadian. And it's a lot more widely accepted. Our services are basically constant communication through we have like a web app. So it's online training programs that are specified to the person. a nutritional plan, nutritional guidance specified to your goals, so whether it's weight loss, weight gain, or maintenance, and then constant communication through me, the trainer. So anytime someone wants to message me, I get it on my phone and I can instant message them back and keep a log of every message that we've written. And that's the service you get for $50 a month. I started this with my partner here in 6 months. We've had 0 dropouts.
In 6 months?
In 6 months.
That's awesome.
So we know we've hit a good price range because people are affording it. They're seeing the value in it. Which is great. And so now we're just trying to consistently grow 2 people a month. That's our game plan. If we can get more than that, we're laughing, right? Because it's just a compounding business that it just grows slowly, and people will drop out eventually. But if we're keeping people for an average of 6 months, that's a great amount of that's $300 a person. If you're factoring the numbers in plus your growth rate, well, exponentially you can grow quickly, and that's why online is good.
Do you attend like educational conferences and stuff, or do you ever see yourself stepping back from actually training and doing some of those conferences maybe?
Conferences, to me, I've attended like CECs, which are their conferences. Like as a trainer, a lot of times you're not going to go out of your way to go to something in person unless it's for like credits or continuing ed. A lot of the time information is so readily available online that you can just pick things up, like pick anything up really. You can watch a YouTube video of a conference and not have to actually travel to like Detroit or Chicago. I'd rather do that personally just because time is valuable to me. But yeah, no, it's like I don't view myself as ever stepping back from training. I feel like it's like I always want to be able to do it, and just the broader net I can cast, the better. Hopefully one day I can only deal with online clients, and I have enough of them that it's a full-time job. Like I would love for that to be the case.
If you could change anything about your business right now, what would it be?
Ooh, change anything? Would have started sooner. For sure. I feel like there is a very big potential for clients that are competition prep clients like a couple of years ago, because what happened was with the ABBA, which is the Alberta Bodybuilding Association, they opened up new divisions like 5 years ago, and they were called male physique, and that division led to a lot more guys getting into it and a lot more girls getting into bikini shows, instead of just it started a whole new trend in like local area for that. And I know a lot of people that got on board with that, like as coaches and like competitive coaches, and they made a killing. And I wish I started sooner when like that trend happened at the beginning of the trend, so I could have seen the spike in it. Right now the trend's leveling off, so if you're getting in the game now for competition prep coaching, it's really tough to like get a good footing in the industry because everybody usually trains with these 3 or 4 set of like competition prep teams now, and they've established themselves, so it's harder to establish yourself. Again, like I don't regret anything else other than that. I feel like I have a good business plan right now.
Seems to be working for you.
Yeah, I'm going the way I want to, like in my direction. You have to really take control of what you want to do. You can't just let things happen. So you have to actively pursue what you want and go after it. And that's the biggest thing, is like I finally made the decision that I will like put focus into like this online training. I feel like our marketing plan is working well, and we can each do our own thing, and we do our own thing this way, but we bring all of our sales back into the middle. So whether my business partner is growing his popularity and fame as an actor, male model, he brings that back into fitness and then the business side of things. And then I am growing as a trainer, upkeeping with my certification, everything, making sure I'm good there, always learning so I can provide better products to my clients. So I grow this way. I train my clients, my own clients, I train his clients, and then I personal train. So those are my revenue streams.
Is there any advice that you could give me that you wish you had gotten when you started?
Make sure when you're starting you know it's something that you want to stick through, because it's going to be rough when you first start out. It's, you know, it's not everything is as cut and dry as like talking about it in the interview. There are some low points that you're going to have. Like, so far we've talked about a whole bunch of high points, but you have to be prepared to get through the low points. You almost need a contingency plan at the same time as when you're starting, because when you start, it's so sink or swim. It's very hard to put your full heart into it and expect so much out of it, because the industry is just not going to give it to you until you put your time in. And that would be my biggest thing, is like, if I wouldn't have stopped when I first started and took a sales position and kept going, I would have hit that trend of the rise that I told you about in bodybuilding, and I probably would have a different story than I do now. And that's just hindsight. So telling you that, if you know this is your passion and you want to do it, stick with it. Know that there'll be hard times. Know that there'll be opportunities for it to get better. Not that it will, but you have to be actively engaged in those opportunities. You have to always be pursuing things. You can't just sit back, always just be working like at your desk job here, training in a gym, and not looking for more opportunity, because then you're going to get complacent. Complacency kills you. You need to always be moving forward and looking at like, oh hey, like I can spend some time here and some time here. This has the potential to make me money in this direction. Like, engage that, pursue it. Whether it's, you know, you're buying products to sell to people, maybe you're starting your own smaller branch off, like smaller type of business off on the side. That might be something that's lucrative to you. You can't just sit and be like, well, they're going to give me these amount of people and I'm okay doing that. But what if, you know, you're getting people you don't want to, you don't like training, you don't mesh with, now you're stuck with them, instead of being like, yeah, we just don't work well together. I would recommend you using this other trainer. Their services are better for you. Because like, I can do that now. I can pass people off that aren't going to work well with me. Before, when I first started, give them to me, bring them all in, and that weighs heavily on you, because you're like, first of all, you're like, wow, I couldn't offer them any good service that, like, because we couldn't connect. So like, they didn't see any results. Was that my fault? Whose fault was it? Because now you're like, you're playing blame on yourself, and that'll happen a lot when you first start. So just know that, again, look for those opportunities. They will be there, and again, if it's your passion, it will work out for you in the end.